I want to talk about the Robinhood IPO because a lot of stuff came out on it. They're doing a direct listing. So it's not a traditional IPO. They have Goldman Sachs, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Lead underwriter. I think they'll lead the underwriting deal. And, they have their S1, which means you got to say everything and all your risks and everything has to be in there. And there was a lot of everything's in there, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, there has to be. Speaking of regulation, they just paid a big $70 million fine. I think that was last week. That was
in this $70 million fine. Yep. Which I don't know if that was for...
It was related to the GameStop and all that kind of fiasco.
But remember, with them GameStop, their excuse for halting was not SEC related or margin call requirements. It was, we're trying to protect the investor. Bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, come on. Yeah, that was great. They're going to be great for Wall Street with the IPO. They're perfectly set up for that. So good for them. But they also, the SEC, they've hired, they paid the former SEC head, Dale Gallagher, $30 million. As to work for their chief legal officer. Man.
Are you kidding? I didn't see that.
I mean, I just interviewed Hester Pierce. Hester, what are you doing? Get out of the SEC.
No kidding.
These people are hiring and they want experience and they want people with contacts. I mean, that's what it is. When you're as an SEC commissioner, when that's up, holy cow. It's like an automatic $5 million plus with a signing bonus of, probably 2-3 Teslas and 4 houses right now. If you're SC commissioner. And it makes sense, right? I mean, especially for Robinhood, which is, needed to understand regulation a little bit better and position themselves right and understand what was coming at them if they were wrong in the fine they had to pay. But that's a very, very big fine, guys.
Yeah, it's a huge fine. But hey, you know what? That's the game. That's the way it's played. I mean, fines aren't that big of a deal for these massive corporations. It's sad, but that's the way it is. What's got my attention here for this Robinhood thing is, so Robinhood took off like crazy because it was allowing the retail investors to trade for free, which there's nothing free. It's all back end for front running. So it's not free there. But their user growth was exploding. And according to CNBC here, from March 2020 to March, or I don't know if it goes through March of this year, but Robinhood has grown its funded accounts. They describe those as which have bank accounts linked to them to $18 million or 18 million customers as of March of this year. That's up from 7.2 million in March of 2020. So if you remember the timeline, Robinhood was blowing up because it allowed everybody, the little guy, to stick it to the big guy, call short squeezes, make lots of money. Then the fiasco with them halting trading and all that happened. So the account users is growing. They have the assets under custody are 80 billion. That's up from just under 20 billion last March. So that's a huge year over year. When this starts trading, Frank, who's buying this? Because I think this is a great gauge of your retail investor sentiment. If this thing gets bid up, did everybody just forget that they locked them out? And are they not upset anymore? Why are these accounts so these?
You asked the wrong question.
Oh, here we go.
Who's buying it? I know who's selling it because they are coming out with a direct listing, and their employees and directors are going to be able to sell a portion of this on day one. No 3-month lockup, no 6-month lockup, maybe for some of the shares, but they have the ability to sell a lot of shares on day one, which is insane because you're promoting this whole entire company, all the metrics that you just mentioned. Again, they're going to be fantastic. More people will get involved in crypto, just like Coinbase. And now you're going to, guys, you have to realize something as a retail investor. Okay, this is why I started this company. And please tune in on Friday for our CEO. We're going to do an AGM, so our annual general meeting. We're going to go over 2020 financials and everything. It's at 11:30. You can register. If you're on an email list, you got to email already, or you can go to our website. Please register because I'm going to talk about this. It's why I created Curzio Research, is because, in so many different industries, Wall Street, even financial newsletters, it's the retail investor that gets screwed, right? And that's the whole point of everything. Everything works as long as a retail investor is there, right? So you want to create all this stuff and build up, and they make, these guys who are selling these IPOs and the way they're structured now, Daniel, it's all about coming out in multi-billion-dollar valuations, doing the road show. They have, series A, B, C, D, E, F, G, freaking, capital raises. The guys who invest early have the ability to invest at discounts in the next capital raise. So these guys are building up their positions at incredibly cheap prices to where this thing IPOs. And then they come out when things are great. They do the road show. They talk about the best statistics. And then they sell this to the retail investor. And the retail investor is people who use Robinhood who, most of the time don't know better. They're like, oh, Robinhood's the greatest thing in the world. Okay, but Snickers I think is the greatest candy bar in the world, but I'm not going to pay $150 for a Snickers bar. So
Snickers is good.
It is good. I might pay like $20. I don't know. Maybe depends how I'm craving that. But you get the point, right? It's the retail. It's just like SPACs. Like all these guys are getting in. They're doing pipes. Everyone's making a fortune from $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. You're getting a chance to buy it at $11 when they finally announce who they're buying, and that valuation's inflated. And now you're seeing SPACs not work as much. Only really good SPACs are working right now. Good companies, good management teams. But everyone was creating a SPAC because it was easy money. It was a layup to generate 30, 40, 50 million in your pocket if you started this thing, and you're out of that investment, which is what venture capital is all about, right? They're not long-term holders. No, they get in, they get out. And just like Peter Thiel got out, and he's great. And again, he got out of Facebook, and that stake would, I think, for $2 billion after the $500,000 investment, it probably worth 20, 30 billion, whatever it is. But that's his job, is to get out of these things, have liquidity, and go into the next one, right? That's what their job is. So they're not long-term holders. So all these investors and they're just selling you a story coming out at multi-billion-dollar valuations. You don't get to participate in the growth. And this is why the security token industry is starting to take off. The news has been fantastic the past couple of months because it gives companies the ability to raise money without going through the investment bank bullshit, right? With all the fees and everything. And it's great for investors because, one, you have a quicker liquidity period. You don't have to wait for private companies 7 to 10 years on average. But for the customer, you're able to invest in companies like ours during the super early stages of growth. And listen, we're a small cap company. Most small caps don't make it, or fail to grow or go into mid caps. There's tons of risk there. But if we do things right and we create $1 billion company, it's going to be incredibly life-changing for you. And you know what? If you buy Robinhood after the IPO, it's not going to be incredibly life-changing to you. What is it going to go up? 100%, 200% if everything works out perfect. But you're already coming into a valuation that's insanely high. And they're selling this, and that's what pisses me off. I mean, you see this in the financial news industry, you see it in Wall Street, where, you got to level the playing field. I mean, there's a reckoning coming, and you're seeing it with Wall Street bets, Daniel. You're seeing it with, throughout, having a voice and them saying, hey, you know what? We want to be part of this. We want to make money. We want to be able to control things just like freaking Wall Street controls everything. But, the whole Robinhood IPO, man, it's all bullshit. It's really.
So you're not buying
bullshit.
It on day one?
I'm going to buy it.
You're going to buy it?
No, I'm not going to buy it. I won't buy it. I mean, I won't buy it because,
well, to your point of what you just said,
employees and directors are selling in your face on day one. Why would they be selling if they, those guys know more about the company? Yes, they're in early and they're taking some off the table. They're looking to sell their stock on day one. I mean, that's an indication of, just like whatever. If it's Coinbase, again, Coinbase had a great valuation now, but would it go up to 400? And we're able to pick it up in one of our newsletters, Crypto Intelligence, for
they just got upgraded today. The price target only jumped $10, but I think Oppenheimer bumped their target price from $434 to $444.
The numbers are going to be amazing for the current quarter. I mean, they're going to be fantastic. I mean, the guidance, they may come out a little conservative, but holy cow. I mean, just because Bitcoin came down, it's the volatility, guys, the liquidity, massive. People buying and selling, they're generating those fees, and they're doing fantastic right now. But anyway.
The last thing on Robinhood there, just to your point, that's what has my attention, because Robinhood was used as these meme stocks and to get these things off the ground to the moon and all that, as they joke on the forums and Reddits and all that, chat places. What if the retailers go short one time? What if they band together and try to short Robinhood because they screwed over, quote unquote, the little guy? What if Dave Portnoy jumps onto this? So I can't wait to see how it trades, just because I want to see what the retail investor does. If there's an appetite for it, if they bid it up, if this becomes another meme stock or just a platform, if users leave or continue to come, that's an interesting thing to me. If you want to play the space, Schwab is good. They just did a acquisition recently. And Interactive Brokers is a very well-run exchange company. So check out those fundamentals. But if you're looking to play in the space, I would look at those. Volume and users are the drivers there. But yeah, that might not be too informative on the Robinhood thing, but it's a wait and see for me. And I do think it's going to be a good sentiment reader.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the MO of the Wall Street bet crowd. I mean, it's AMC, you left it for dead. It's GameStop, you left it for dead. It's Tesla, all the criticism, we hate you, we're never going to succeed, and right in Elon Musk's face. I mean, with this, there is so much optimism on this coming out at a high valuation. It's like, I feel like the other stocks that Wall Street bets, take those positions in, and, they get their whole group. I think it's over 10 million strong now. It is over 10 million strong now, as of, I think, July 1st, members to that group on Reddit. But, that group is more like, hey, these guys are treating unfair, whatever. Robinhood's not being treated unfair. They're coming out with a monster valuation. Again, they have good metrics, but, the fact that they're structuring this like it's supposed to be a good thing, given some of this to their customers and Robinhood clients and stuff like that. And you have so many people selling on day one, guys. Day one. That doesn't happen in IPOs a lot. You could structure it. You could disclose whatever you want. You could say, hey, I'm going to rob you. I'm going to rob you right now, and I'm going to collect everything. And as long as you disclose it, it's okay in our industry. So, they're disclosing. Listen, we have a lot of people selling on day one. That's not really what I want to buy it. But again, don't listen to me. Just, maybe it goes a lot higher. I have no idea. But
it's a wait and see. So
yeah, it is.
It'll be fun.